green trees in the background that has the slit in it. We have taken the foam core piece and laid it, it's going to be roughly centered, it does not have to be perfect, on top of the green. We have adhered ours down. You just use your adhesive. I used just a simple tape runner around the opening and this side, and then adhere it down. So that's what it's gonna look like, okay? With your tag we made earlier, with the cuff, we are going to line it up on the left-hand side of basically the hole. So we're just gonna line it up. You just want it so it doesn't, do not see the cuff portion of this. So you just want to adhere that down so that once it's in place, it works and covers the entire hole. It will, this part right here, I'm gonna get in close here. You do not see this. When it's flipped over, you will not see the edge of your tag. So that's why we have the holes. So we're gonna take this piece and put it aside so we can work on putting Santa together and the headline together, and then like we normally do with our layouts, we'll go and put it all together. We're gonna start with the mint green base for the scooter build. We put some adhesive already down on the mint green piece. We're just gonna line up this silver light right on top of where we have it. The green glitter is gonna go right on top of that, so we don't have to worry about that. Next, we're gonna put on the small silver light on the front. And again, it's gonna get covered, so don't worry about it. We went ahead and in these two highlighted spots, they were pieces that were onto this green foil piece. They just go into these right underneath where Santa's foot's gonna go, and the next piece up, just to have a nice reflection on the back of it. So we're gonna go ahead and put a little bit of adhesive on here. You're gonna wanna do a little bit more than what I'm doing. I'm just doing it for the sake of the video. So you're gonna line these up. Everything will line up perfectly. And once you do that, you can see the highlight. Oh, we're gonna put our light down just a little bit. You'll see the highlights coming through on the bike. So we're gonna go ahead and put the brown seat where Santa sits on. And we're just gonna put some adhesive down and stick him down. Then you're gonna have this little, there's a small black piece that's on your big piece, and they line up just like that. So we're just gonna stick that right on top of there. We're gonna give that a couple seconds to set up a little bit. And while we're waiting, we're gonna put the silver hubcaps onto the scooter. Now, sometimes you have these little knobs that are sticking off of it. You can leave those on there. I'm just going to put it so it's at the top of where my tire's going, where my hub goes on the tire. So you won't see that, it'll be hidden underneath everything. And then I'm gonna put the other hubcap on. Again, you're gonna take a little bit more time than what I'm doing. Now, the light that we just did, I just put some adhesive on there. It goes behind where the seat goes in that general area. Whoop. And sometimes it's a little easier to use a regular adhesive rather than a liquid adhesive that needs some time to set up. Your wheels are gonna go directly under the scooter in the place that you would think. Now, once you get this in place, Santa goes in this area, but I know some people are going to worry about that. So what you can do once you have things in place is just snip here and snip there, and then there's no sign of it. And the last thing we're gonna do is put this on with a couple pop dots, and you're good to go. put the Santa together. It's very easy. Keep this piece together. This will keep everything in line. So we're going to put some adhesive down and line up your beard. Next thing we're going to do is put the mustache on. Again, same technique. If you want to use a pop dot, you can. The mustache goes right where this curve is here. So put that down. Next, we're going to put the nose on. It's a really easy step-by-step kind of thing. So we're going to put the nose roughly in this area. The next thing that goes on is the Santa fluff hat part. Again, we're just going to put some adhesive on it. And we want to kind of cover his nose a little bit to give it a little bit more character. But the other thing we're going to do is pop up the end of his mustache, so it's kind of sticking out there. Now, we're going to put some adhesive. You can use some liquid adhesive if you want to put the pom-pom on. And you might want to just fluff these out just a little bit. We're going to leave the hand off, but I'm going to show you how to put on the brown for the handlebar. It's real easy. Where you see the cutout, if I can get my glue to come out, you're going to put that little brown piece. Okay? So that's going to go on once we get the scooter into place. So that is that. And we're going to also leave the shoe off because that will make sense in a minute. This is a super quickie tutorial on how to do the lights. They're very, very straightforward. We gave you 3 different colors of the lights. We gave you red, we gave you the lime green, and we gave you the regular Christmas green. I chose, when I did mine, to do them in an order, a consecutive order. So you can see on my layout, it's going to go like a lime green, the dark green, and the red. I just wanted to keep it so it was a consistent order. So I'm going to go lime green, green, and a red light. Okay. These may need to be trimmed just slightly. We gave you plenty of lights, so I'm just going to trim them off just a little bit. You want to have a little bit of an end on it so that it's easier to put into the quote-unquote socket section, the little black pieces on the wires. Okay. So, like I've showed you before, I'm going to actually use my thicker glue. Okay, so what I'm going to do is put a little dot. You'll see it's a lot thicker than my Tombow. So I'm going to stick that back in. Now, instead of moving the little tiny pieces, which can be a real drag, I'll move these aside so you can see better. I am going to move these to a side. You'll see the socket piece right here. I'm going to take the black. I'm going to lay it right on top of it. I'm going to touch it on there. I'm going to move over to move the red one out of the way. Move over to the next green one. This just makes it a little easier than trying to like maneuver all the little tiny parts. And then you can see the way the sockets go, the lights kind of go back and forth, so that gives a little bit more dimension. Now you're going to repeat this pattern. So you're going to go green. You can do them however you want. If you want to cut your own little tiny blue lights, if it goes better with your layout, or whatever you want to do, you can do that too. We're going to repeat the process. So lime green's going to go here and dark green's going to go here. And probably because there's 2 green here, I'm going to go with a red one in that area. We're going to first put down the gift boxes, which we pre-cut. You can look on the instructions for the sizes of those. And put the bows on top, the glitter bows on top of it. So we're gonna roughly put it in this direction. We just want them to be, I like to have mine kind of for layouts like this because it's kind of a fun, Christmassy kind of thing. Just kind of slightly askew. Okay, so if there's no wrong way to do Christmas lights, I mean, I guess it's possible that you can do it a wrong way. So I'm just gonna lay them in place so you can see what I'm gonna do. We can trim them up afterwards, but I'm just gonna lay them into place so you can see how they're gonna look. And the other thing I wanna mention is, do not adhere down underneath the lights because you wanna be able to slide your pictures into there. So adhere maybe here and here, tack it in, and then once you figure out what you wanna do with your pictures, you can lay it on so it's down for good. So once you have all this together, what we created earlier, and just to recap, it's the trees with the foam on it, with the cuff, with the tag. And again, our tag is gonna be moving into the layout to go to the second page, which is the headline. So we are going to adhere this down. So when you flip it over, make sure your tag is relatively straight. It doesn't have to be perfect, but we're gonna do it relatively straight. So we're gonna do it close to the edge of the foam core. We're gonna put adhesive down. You're going to put it on the top and the bottom of the foam core. You're not putting any on the tag or this area. So you're just gonna go top. This is with the trees facing towards you on the reverse side. Okay, so we're just gonna have three sides, these three sides that I'm touching right now that are gonna have adhesive. We're going to put them on the white portion. That is going to be what holds everything into place. Do not get it too close to your tag. It will make the tag stick and you will have problems. That sounds like it's really difficult, but it's really, really not. So once you get all that sticky, you're going to push it into place. And again, I am going to recommend using a dry adhesive, which means some sort of tape, not a liquid glue. Once that's in place, let's make sure the tag is all the way in so you can have this to pull it and you can see that it moves, but we want the tag so that it's completely behind those trees. This is the little, it's tricky, but it's definitely very easy. I don't want you to get all freaked out. Okay, so for the two pieces we did earlier, the two pieces of foam core, that's all of this is two pieces of foam core that are stacked together that we've stuck together. It was in the center of the white channel of the foam piece. We cut it out, we stuck them together. It's just to give it enough that the scooter can sit on it. So before, we're gonna put that right here for right now so we don't lose it. Now that Santa and the scooter are dry, what you're gonna wanna do is figure out where you need Santa to be. Couple tips here. Number one, we need Santa to be all the way in here, so don't put him all the way to the edge or his hat and these things will stick off the edge and it'll be weird. So we need him to be in just slightly. So I'm gonna say 2 fingers worth on the left to the back of the scooter. Okay, this piece is going to adhere somewhere in this area. I say that because we need to figure out where our foam core is gonna go. So if Santa, we're gonna position Santa where we want him to go. So like I said, roughly fingers from the left. Carefully flip Santa forward where you want it to go. So this piece is going to basically go into this area. So we're gonna need Santa to be right here. So we're gonna leave it flip forward using dry adhesive because we don't wanna make a mess. Put dry adhesive. Dry adhesive is just some sort of tape, like a tape runner or something like that. Nothing that's going to ooze and get all over everything. Okay, so now I've made it sticky on both sides of this. We're going to visually eyeball where this is gonna go. So we are, just to be clear, we're going inside this channel to adhere it to the red tag underneath that is totally pushed in. So we are going to push that down. So right now, just to test it, it's on the tag, okay? Push that back in. So this is currently sticky right here. I need to put a little bit more sticky. You want it to be extra sticky. Now, with Santa, we want Santa's wheels of his scooter to be into this green area. So roughly about 1/8 of an inch up. So we are going to push Santa onto that little adhesive part on that foam core. And now, if we did everything correctly, Santa will move across the layout. Good. Let's go ahead and start building the headline side of the page. So we're gonna start with putting the trees that do not have the slide portion in it on this side. So we're just gonna center it so that the same amount of space is here and here on both sides. It's a little bit less than 1/8 of an inch. So we're just gonna adhere this down real quick. You're gonna wanna do a little bit better job than I'm doing. Probably go behind the trees and everything, but for the sake of speed and getting this done, I'm going to just go ahead and just loosely put it on there. So you're gonna eyeball it. So the trees go here. We've gone ahead and we've cut our mounting cards, which each of these on this side of the page, all of the reds are, just to reiterate it, the red picture boxes are the 3.5 wide by 3 inches tall. The green for each of these is 3 inches wide and 2.5 inches tall. Again, it's on your instructions, so you don't have to write that down or anything. You just need to know that it's there. We're going to adhere this down to this side of the page. You can pop this up. I would recommend using perhaps like a scrap piece of foam core to pop it up if you're gonna do that, because it is a pretty big piece and this specialty stock is kind of on the heavy side. For our sake right now, I'm just gonna put some adhesive on the back and I'm just gonna put it on flat. So we're just gonna put it roughly in this area. There's no exact way to put it. If you don't want it here, if you want it here, you can put it wherever you want. So below that is going to be your sign with your presents that we did earlier. So we have the 3 small glitter presents that are gonna go on here. I am just gonna go ahead and put some adhesive along the brown. For the time being, I'm gonna center it underneath my headline. For the time being, I'm just going to, the snow portion of it is just gonna be flopping around. So we have the 3 presents that go on there. And like I told you earlier, since we're leaving this up, I'm gonna put some pop dots on these to give it some more dimension. You can absolutely do it flat or however you like to do it. So in the typical fashion that I like to do, that people who watch me, instead of doing the whole thing being the same dimension, I like to give it a little pop so that this part will stand up higher than the base part. So I'm just gonna put some regular adhesive at the bottom, tuck it into our snow to make it look like they just got dropped in the snow. But you can see this is stuck and this is up higher. So then we're just going to put, let me see how I did this. The one with the plus sign is gonna go on this side. You can do it either way, but I'm just gonna do it the way my instructions say. And I like to do it so it's a little bit crooked, because I don't know about your Christmas tree, but mine are not perfect underneath the Christmas tree. And these are supposed to look like, you know, somebody just dropped them along the way. Okay, so we're gonna put a little adhesive, flat adhesive at the bottom, like we did on the other one. If you can hear that scratching, that's my fantastic dog. His name is Bauer, one of our dogs. And he's being a little bit of a pain right now. Same thing for this one. We're just gonna do 2 pop dots. You don't really have to do 2, but for the sake of argument right now, I'll do 2. 1 at the top, or 2 at the top. There is no wrong way to do this. If you like them all flat, you can totally do it all flat. And like I said earlier, if you wanted to add maybe a little bit of this blue color, you could cut out your own using our pieces, our cut pieces as a template. You could make your own little rectangle shapes for the gifts and put the bows on top of that. Okay, so for the 3 presents that go over here, I am going to just real quickly, I'm gonna start with the middle one, which is with the red. There's 2 green bows and there's 1 red bow. So I'm gonna start with this one and we're gonna slightly make it a little crooked. We just wanna make sure that our other bows are gonna fit. So I'm gonna move them down just slightly. And if you wanna mix and match with these, you can absolutely do that. Okay, so that's gonna go there. And again, for your layout, use a little bit more adhesive than I'm using. It's kind of nice. It kind of like ties in with these gifts that look like they're just kind of like getting dropped by Santa.